It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the fall edition of The Local Show. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk to the business owners, the CEOs, the CFOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We learn how they got into business and why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You're going to hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studio, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. We're also on YouTube if you want to follow along over there and see some videos. You can actually see what we look like and what the guests look like. And
nobody cares what we look like, Tom.
Just how we look sitting behind a microphone.
We look like two old fat guys sitting in front of a microphone, Tom.
Oh, you're not kidding. Yeah, so your back is not good today, huh?
It's when you get to be my age, Tom, just for no reason.
Yeah,
and a chiropractor said, well, you did. They tell you they'd redo the right act, but I got in my car. And I just got a back spasm. Yeah. So if you hear me go anytime, I choked down 73 Motrin a few minutes ago.
Very nice. Yeah.
So either my liver will die or I'll be better. But I'll take either one right now.
Going up the steps, my right knee, I don't have any knee problems so far as I know, right? So I was walking up the steps just today and my knee went out. So now I'm limping on my right side of my knee.
Well, welcome to the does everything hurt as much as it does on you as us show. Our audience, we'll have the audience call in and say, okay, what hurts today? And at 60 years old, we got a list, right?
You hear all those commercials about that Relief Factor. We might want to get like 10 bottles of it.
Maybe they'll just if you're listening, send us a gross, like a Costco quantity of Relief Factor.
We're going to have to start endorsing that. Look, we've got a great show for you. Hopefully our guests are in better shape than we are. First up, we're going to talk with Mark O'Donnell. He's the owner of Operations Excellence. Zana Gervais is the owner of the Salmon River Sports Shop. She's going to stop by and talk fishing. Heaven Longo is the marketing development manager at Contact Syracuse. We're going to talk with her. Christy Hall, clinical research coordinator at Velocity Clinical Research. Diane Kupperman is the president and CEO of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Vance Lederman is the senior VP of business operations and the CFO of The Crunch. We'll talk with him for a little while. Sean Dupree stops by again. He's the owner of Top Notch Roofing. And then we'll round things out with attorney John Murphy, the owner of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. Right now, it's our pleasure to bring on a new guest to the show, Mark O'Donnell, the owner of Operations Excellence. How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Well, it's nice to meet you here for the first time.
Same here.
I think, unless you turn out to be no good.
No, he's smarter than he looks. Let's be honest.
Maybe or maybe not. I did spend over 4 hours on the golf course recently with Steve.
Oh, golly.
So we got in trouble once.
I'm surprised
we were on the tees and they're like, "Will you guys shut up and hit the golf ball?" We were having a good time. So how'd you get into the business? Where'd you come from?
So I've spent 35 plus years in the business world, undergraduate degree in industrial engineering from Syracuse University. Grew up here locally, went on in my 30s to get an MBA from Lemoyne College. It was basically transitioned out and downsized. Most recently was general manager at J.R. Clancy Wenker Corporation. Really spent the last 20 plus years of my career in leadership, executive leadership roles. So when I was downsized in my late 50s, and I just turned 60 this year too, so I totally understand the aches and pains things. I wasn't ready to retire, and so what do I want to do now when I grow up type of thing? And I really have always thought about consulting. And so I did some self-assessment, really some introspection, and came up with what makes me happiest, right? It came down to two things. The engineer in me loves to solve problems, And I've always been happiest when I've been able to help people reach their potential.
I thought hit a golf ball would be on that list, but okay, let's move on.
Well, that's third.
Okay.
That's third. You know, so that's what I do now, right? I help people and organizations, and I help people develop and reach their full potential.
What does that mean? That sounds like blah, 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 consulting, blah, blah, blah. And you didn't mean that.
No.
Rubber meets the road. Who do you help?
Yep.
And how do you do it?
Great questions. So, you know, first off, let's make it really simple. When I'm talking with potential clients, right, I really start asking somebody about their business, and people love to talk about themselves and their business. And what I'm listening for is, are they stuck? And if they're not direct about that, I will come out and ask that question pretty directly. You know, are you stuck? Are you unable to reach the goals and the desired results that you're looking for, right? And what's holding you back? And sometimes that takes a bit of digging, and it may take multiple discussions, multiple meetings. And really what it typically comes down to for most organizations is one of three things, or a combination of these three things. It's people, process, strategy, right? And whether it's, you know, I've got supervisors or potential supervisors that are high performers, and I know they could probably succeed the next level, but I've got to get them some additional development, right? Because most companies, myself included, right? One day I went from being an engineer to being a manager.
Is it mostly blue collar, or is it a mix?
It's a mix. It's a mix. Yeah. You know, so who do I help? It's really all kinds of organizations. My focus is predominantly on small to mid-sized companies. I mean, would I do business with major corporations? I'm not really inclined to say yes, but I would never say completely no. Yeah. But it really comes down to the folks that need my help, right? I mean, I want to work with people and need to work with people who are open-minded and can set aside their own ego, because sometimes it could come down to the leadership.
Isn't step one, you got to admit you have a problem?
Correct. Absolutely correct.
You know, I'm good, go away.
Right. Well, and that's typically, people ask me, what's the biggest barrier to landing clients, if you will? And it's not about the fees I charge, right? It is about hubris or ego, or sometimes I guess I look at it like there's a little bit of fear driving that, because I've sat in their chair longer than I've sat in the chair I'm sitting in now. And I understand for some of these people, their first thought is, if I bring somebody in from the outside, that's an admission that I don't know how to do what I'm supposed to do.
There was a news story during the week that talked about workers having a general malaise toward work. You know, people just not enjoying their jobs in general, low job satisfaction. And I think a lot of that is due to the whole pandemic thing too. And people reassessed and said, geez, do I really need to be in the office? What am I working for? You know, so do you experience a little of that?
Absolutely. It's one of the top things I hear from all clients and potential clients is, and it really kind of goes to this, is what I hear from the owners and the executives is, I'm struggling to retain and hire quality talent. Right. And it doesn't just go to money, right? I mean, people immediately go to the money side, because money, right? If you're just hiring people because of the money, those folks particularly are going to always find somebody who's going to pay more.
Absolutely.
Right.
So they're going to flame out sooner or later.
Right. They're the jumpers. Right. So it gets to culture, right? Why do people want to work someplace? And you hit it on the head, right? There were things already in the works with remote work, right? That was coming online before the pandemic.
Absolutely.
Right. But the pandemic just accelerated a lot of these trends. And also with that, you've got the baby boomers aging out, right? So the workforce has changed. So culture is a big part of what I do.
So if someone had a business and had the courage to say, you know what, I want to have a conversation with you, you know, and it doesn't mean they've hired you, but you know, because things need to change, they can get you at 480-5515.
Correct.
So 480-5515, operationsexcellence.com. Mark, so they can have a conversation, maybe start the process. And the one thing I wrote down here, it sounds like you're a doctor of business. You go in like, you know, can you write the script? Well, you know what? Here's what I see.
Right.
You know, and if you don't take the medicine or don't, you know, do the exercise, I can't help you. Right. But if you're willing to, I'll hold you accountable and encourage you and direct you. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's facilitation. Right. I think you got it.
Cool.
Good. Mark O'Donnell right there. Thank you very much, sir. And you have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Coming up next, Zaina Gervais. She's the owner of the Salmon River Sports Shop. We're going to talk salmon and steelhead next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.